Hi, everybody. Steve here. It's a real honor to be part of this group. I've been attending it for a long time, and to be the person who presents it's a real big deal for me. And for Diana too, I guess. I think she's tuned in. But what I wanted to do in this video is to answer two questions, really. One of them is, what does an asynchronous course look like at the college level? This is a graduate course I'm going to show you. Because asynchronous courses is what happened, particularly asynchronous courses. They're the ones where you do not ever see each other, but you're in touch with each other all the time. There are other versions. There's the hybrid course, which is a little bit of asynchronous and a little bit of Zoom and a little bit of other things. And then there's also the face-to-face course, and many of those are coming back. But I'll be telling you some of the statistics on how it's never going to be the same in terms of the proportion of face-to-face courses. Okay, so the one I'm going to show you here is a course that I teach. I've taught it for 4 semesters now. It was supposed to be an elective course, and it's a course about, it's a dystopian course because it's about some of the real dangers of all of these technologies. And there are something like 70 of these technologies, and the students are given it, they pick 6 of them that they want to specialize in, of all different types, for their own the projects they have to work on. And then we talk about many more on the actual weekly sessions. I do a lecture, and then students and I work online using some of these. We use a session called Blackboard, which some of the high schools and grade schools use also. And that's it, but we're in touch every single day, practically. And that's one of the things I have to warn everybody ahead of time, a little bit like the marriage ceremony. If you want to, are you sure you want to go through with this? And this course, for some reason, fills up every time. About 20, usually maybe 25, 30 people sign up. By the time we get into it a little bit, there's down to about 20 some, but that's the deal. So let me show you this course and give you an idea of how the asynchronous course works. And then the second thing I'm going to do is very briefly show you a link to approximately 500 different Ivy League courses that you can take online in every topic you can imagine for free. And I'll give you that link also, or I'll get it through Angela. We'll get you the link if you wish it. Okay, that's it. Let me just now take you to the course site. Okay, here's the course site. This is what it looks like when students enter it. Welcome message. It's called Dangers of Technology, Artificial Intelligence and Beyond. And it's all about the things to worry about from a policy perspective. I work at the Schar School of Policy and Government, so these are policy issues. And most of the students who take this course are not geeks. They're just interested in some of these subjects. And this is a way, there's all kinds of clicking that goes on in these kind of courses, and this is what it looks like. I just described the course. And then down here, these are the rubrics, the rules, and every one of these asynchronous courses has plenty of rubrics. And I'm just going to show you some of the other features of the course just to give you an idea. We'll go to the discussion board in a minute to show how we communicate. But there is a syllabus, but we sort of abandon it. It lets everybody know what the theme is, but the syllabus is pretty much abandoned by these weekly topics, and this is what the weekly topics look like. AI and job displacement, AI and algorithmic management, government issues, AI and racism, nightmare scenarios. As I told you, it's dystopian. AI ethics, policy considerations, phishing and hacking, plagues that get worse. A major existential threat, the dark web, deep web, the power grid, and water distribution system, which are the two that worry me more than anything else. Deep fake, the Internet of Things, GDPR, that's the European Union's very successful security system that they've set up for 26, 27 countries. Crypto security, cryptocurrency, I mean, that's Bitcoin, and there's about 6,000 others. And a couple of countries now have already set up Bitcoin. El Salvador, for example, as a legitimate currency, and there's some deals being done in New York now that the only way they'll accept payments is in Bitcoin. Ransomware, doxing, swatting, and fraud challenges, et cetera. Anyway, that's what it looks like. I'll take you to week 10, and of course there's the learning objectives and lecture topics. And this is one of the deliverables. This is they're called portfolios. Each student picks 6 topics that they're interested in. This is one of the portfolios that I was featuring this particular week. These are the 6 that this student picked: energy challenges, racial bias, blockchain, which is the basis of cryptocurrency, the Internet of Things, and they have to pick a region. And Estonia is a country that a lot of them pick. And this is what each one of these looks like. There's a lot of discussion. Everything you see there. This is a click. Each one of these is a clicking on some article. The new energy economy. That's what this is. There are 6 of these that they do. This is the one for energy. And a lot of different, plenty of links to what is green hydrogen, all really interesting stuff. And these students all know how to use these graphics. This is a system called Wix, W-I-X, and there's another one called Prezi, and there are plenty of others, and they all know how to do this. I don't, but they do, and it looks really good. So, and they have, each one of these is a video, and this is just one of the topics, and we're not done with it yet because that's just the discussion of it, and then there's also the news on that subject, and here's a whole bunch of different, I call them late-breaking stories, where they actually operationalize the thing. And this is just what it looks like. So this is a typical part of it, and there are 20-some students in the class, and each one of them does one of these in different, they all pick different topics. I don't want to lose this here now. Let me just be sure I don't, sometimes I just lose everything when okay, there we go. All right, I'm out of it now. And so this is what it looks like. Then I give them an assignment. I also give them a lecture. This is the lecture that for this week, this particular week. This is my lecture.
Hi, everybody. This is week 10.
I
want to begin.
This is week 10, and I want to begin
with a round of applause for those portfolios. They were sensational. They were really great. I'm going to feature 2 or 3 every single week, and we can look them over. And we'll have a whole week dedicated.
Well, that's enough of that, but you get the idea. Every week there's a lecture on all these topics so that they know what but their basic job is to begin with these resources that I give them. The topic this week happens to be, what is it? Ransomware, doxing, swatting, and fraud, robbing money and reputation. So you've probably heard about ransomware and doxing and swat. Those are all terrible things that are going on, and it's very difficult to guard against them. And this is CISA, that's the big computer guru in the country now. And anyway, these are all articles, and they don't have to read them all. I put asterisks by the ones I think they really ought to be looking at, and then they go through and they do what they want. But some of them find, and of course this just gets them started, and then they find their own stuff, and I'll show you what that looks like now. So that's just a particular lesson for a particular week. And then this is the discussion board. This is what the actual discussion looks like. I'm going to take you down to that particular week, which was week 10. So I send them this kind of a note about what's going on. And then that's the lecture that you just saw. And then and this is what it looks like. These are all real students, and each one of them, I'll just pick. Here's one that there were 10 different. New anti-doxing law to protect officers from personnel information being released online. This particular student put that up there. They put up headlines, see if students are interested, and they write something about it. It's really interesting. Plenty of things to click on, and then another student comments on that, and here's a link that they click, and then another one comments on that, and they disagree with each other. They mostly agree with each other. And then there's more of that discussion. So that's what it looks like. And in a typical, that was 10. Sometimes I get as many as 12 or 13, depending on the topic. There's one, I'll just do one more. Here's one that had 8. U.S. State Department formally announces new State Department Cyber Bureau. And that's the article it started with. And then a lot of people wanted to chime in on that one. And discussion back and forth between the originator and other people who were commenting on it. So that's what it looks like. And that goes on. There are usually about 20 of those in a class of 20-some students. So it's not, so that's the way it works. And it's very, very active and vigorous. And each week there will be about 120, 130 posts like this. And it's just communicating. They're communicating with each other every day. They have to do 5 a week. And they're communicating with each other all the time. And then there's there's samples of posts, links to articles on technology topics. We have a huge number of links to those. There's 70 or so different topics that they can pick on, and each one has a bunch of different citations they can start with, but they keep adding to them all the time. And recommended books, description of the portfolio, list of technology blogs, samples of completed research papers, and here's this is a research paper that was just done last week by one of the students. Deepfakes in the European Union, Positions in Legislation, a really interesting paper. Deepfakes, as you know, is that terrible technology where people can, where you can actually take a person, if you have the face and you have some other, you can even have a ballet dancer or somebody, maybe a not so nice dancer, and you can put the face on them. It looks like they're doing that thing. So it's a very, very nasty technology. And he's describing what the European Union is doing about it, and the answer is they're doing a lot about it. And his point is we don't seem to be doing much about it in this country. So, and I guess that's about it. I think it gives you a pretty good idea of how everything works in the course, and that's what one of these courses looks like. And we'll talk more about it when we get into this in our discussion, but I just did want to give you a rough idea of what that looked like. Now I want to show you one other thing, and that is I mentioned that there are quite a few courses available free, and here's a link to it's open. I'm going to give you this link. This is a link to a site that says 65 free online courses from the best U.S. colleges, including Harvard, MIT, Princeton, Yale, and more. And there really are. There are online courses. There's one from Princeton, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, Buddhism, making government work in hard places, and these are all free courses. They're called MOOCs, Massive Open Online Courses, and these are at great universities. So that's one link, and the other one is this one. If you thought 65 was a lot, how about 450? Here's 450, and they're every imaginable topic: computer science, data science, program human, social sciences, mathematics, engineering. There's a bunch of them in the humanities. There's poetry, just everything you can imagine. And these are courses taught by the most famous professors in the world, women and men who are not only famous scholars, but the ones who are picked for these are also famous. They're good teachers, famous teachers as well. So that's it. That's all I wanted to really do in this, is to give you a rough idea of what a course of this sort looks like, an asynchronous course, and then we can talk about this subject in much more detail face-to-face right now. So thanks for joining me on this, and let's get together on Zoom.